Hello everyone, this is Krota giving you a shoutcast and a game between Roxas, Abver, and Mouse Mana here on Metalopolis. Here we have Mouse Mana spawning as the red Protoss player. Meanwhile, we have Roxas, Abver spawning as the purple Zerg. So this will be Roxas, Abver spawning at the 9 o'clock location and Mana spawning at the 3 o'clock location here on Metalopolis. This is going to be cross spawns, so I am looking forward to seeing how these particular players will be playing. Abver is scouting out with this Overlord over here, and he will quickly find that his opponent did not spawn in this location. And because of that, there are only two spawning locations left. There is this location here at the 12 o'clock position, and also this location here at the 3 o'clock location. Because of this, and I'm not sure if Abver will opt to go for a fast hatchery or not, just because of the possibility that his opponent is able to come into this location here. If he does time this correctly, though, he should be able to send out a drone at some point and be able to scout that out. And we also may see a 13 hatchery followed by a refinery. And we'll see what opening Roxas Abver will try to do. Back over here, Mouse Mana continuing to just chrono boost, getting a very, very strong economy. We'll be setting up that standard front door against Zerg players where you're able to get a gateway followed by a cybernetics core or a forge. And what that allows you to do is make a very, very narrow choke point for units to walk in and out. There is one probe now wandering its way into this inside of the space right now. Abver, sitting at 15/18, is quickly going to see that his opponent did not spawn here and may opt to try to go for a hatchery. There is already one probe now making its way back down. Will Mana fall for the same head fake that he did on Shakura's plateau? That is going to be the key question, as Abver was able to sneak down one of those units. No, Abver now opting to go for an extractor here, but I do not see any. Oh, another hatchery here at the high ground. So Abver moving out and now able to set up a second hatchery at the high yield minerals. And what this will allow him to do is allow him to mine at a much higher efficiency for those drones. It takes less drones to saturate 6 mineral patches than 8, so that is really what's going to be happening here as this probe now makes its way across the map. Will that probe walk up that ramp and see that one hatchery? And yes, it does. Abver does see. Abver has been revealed now, and now Mana may try to go for a proxy pylon here, and perhaps being able to warp in some units, but there is no forge, so he is not going to be able to warp in any cannons. The assimilator is down now. We should be seeing that the cybernetics core researching that warp gate up in just a second. And now another key question is going to be, are we going to see enough drones transferred over into this location and getting a lot of spine crawlers? This is going to be a very, very dangerous game for Abver, as Abver is now currently just building this hatchery, and this hatchery is going to take a fair amount of damage from this very early zealot. So the zealot already coming over, trying to slash its way, and now we see the double pylon block, or the triple pylon block by Mana. So Zerglings now trying to run their way out will not be able to, as there is now 3 pylons are blocking the way out. The hatchery has been completed, but the Zerglings are not able to escape the base. So beautifully played by Mana. Mana warping in 3 pylons for the sake of being able to easily destroy one hatchery. You can see that those Zerglings are now just trying to peck away here. This one hatchery looks like it will get taken down. No, Zealot's now trying to fight back, trying to get more damage in. Once again, the Queen will be popping out in just a second. More Zerglings coming out to engage as well. Those Zerglings need to be very, very careful, as these pylons are still trying to get taken down in just a second. More Zerglings now trying to come in. In comes a Queen. And now that there is a Queen joining in on this fight, these Zealots are going to have a very, very difficult time trying to take down this hatchery. A Stalker now coming in to join in on this fight as well. We do see that Spawn Larva now coming in, and that Queen taking a fair amount of damage, just dancing around this hatchery. Hatchery taking a lot of damage so far, and the Queen now coming in once again. Hatchery down to 19 hit points, 6 hit points. Needs one more shot. Down it goes. So that has been taken down. The rest of the pylons have also been taken down as well. So both sides losing a lot of resources early on. There is now another gateway currently being warped in right there in order to prevent any units from being able to squeeze through, and now in comes one Stalker. So that Stalker now fighting back against a swarm of Zerglings. Those Zerglings are going to get picked apart by that Stalker. That Stalker able to get some damage in, but a second Stalker needs to be trained up, and more buildings need to be placed down. These buildings cannot be repaired. This is Protoss after all, not the Terran. So this cybernetics core very, very low on hit points, and now in comes a force field. That force field preventing a decent surround onto that one cybernetics core, and as more and more units are warping in, Mana is able to fend off that attack. Another hatchery has been placed down. A creep tumor now also being placed down as well by that Queen. in order to get a stronger creep highway. Production wise, another gateway, evolution chamber, this hatchery about 2/3, almost halfway completed, and now more zealots warping in. So very, very interesting games between these players. You can see that the gateway that was originally here has been canceled, so that units will be able to walk in and out of the base pretty freely. One probe now gonna go ahead and wander outside once again. Hallucination now being researched, and hallucination allowing for obviously hallucinations and most likely Phoenix hallucinations, as those Phoenixes are able to do a lot of scouting and a lot of spotting. One probe now on its way out will quickly get swarmed down by a sea of Zerglings there, and those creep tumors are now once again in play. So very, very nice. Abver will be able to start spreading his creep highway. I don't see any creep tumors down over here yet, so that is a bit of a surprise, as we are now going for the Zerg level 1 melee attack upgrade. Zerglings not going to try to swarm in, going to be able to cancel that and Nexus over here, as those Zerglings trying to fight back against a large army of stalkers and zealots. Sentries are now going to come in. This one pylon will get taken down very, very easily, as 2 zealots are going to hold on to that position there, forcing mana to run off of 1 base. So 1 base play coming in from the Protoss player, and eventual 2 base play coming in from Abver. Abver has still not yet tech to tier 2. You can see that the Phoenix is, or the Hallucination Phoenix is in play, wandering around. More spawn larvae here, trying to get up more drones, also laying down more creep tumors in order to get a stronger creep highway and a stronger creep presence. More drones also being transferred over as well, and you can see the harvester count difference. 23 harvesters versus 27. Some drones were now being transferred over naturally, as those Zerglings once again going to try to test the waters and try to run in here. Are the Zerglings going to be able to get any damage? No, not really. Zerglings now trying to run up the base, but another force field being used. Nicely done. These Zerglings unable to really get any damage at all. Zealots are going to be able to just simply swarm in here with the help of those sentries and that one stalker. Another zealot trying to, or another Zergling trying to push through there, but a zealot standing in its way. Level 1 weapons upgrade nearing completion, but the level 1 attack also for the Protoss is nearing completion as well, and that is going to be very, very important. A spine crawler here will be able to act as an anti-deterrence measure for trying to activate this Xel'Naga watchtower. Also, creep tumors are still being spread out in order to efficiently establish this very, very fast creep highway for those Zerglings, moving at a very, very fast movement speed. And now we see a Void Ray. Void Ray is now being trained. One Void Ray. If a second or a third Void Ray are added to that army, I believe that should be enough to shut down this queen over here. I don't see any evolution chambers in play, and this hatchery will quickly fall to some Void Rays. Void Rays dealing additional damage towards armored units and massive. A hatchery is not massive, but it is armored, so it does take some additional damage there. Zerglings once again trying to test the front door, will not be able to break through at all. And now a second Void Ray is currently being trained, but I do not see another Nexus yet coming in from Mana, and that is a problem. He needs to get another Nexus. He needs to get in this game, economically speaking, or he is going to quickly find himself behind. You can see that he has a lot of probes over here, and he should be able to transfer some of those probes very, very easily. Taking a look back at Abver's economy, Abver is only sitting on 26 harvesters, so he's not really power droning all too much. And now I did see a Roach Warren, so that is going to be a problem. If he goes for roaches, those roaches are going to fall very, very quickly to those Void Rays, especially when they're off of creep, as Void Rays are able to attack, move, and have the same movement speed. And now in come, wow, 3 Void Rays now coming in over here, trying to go out, trying to deal some damage. You can see there's also one hallucination in the mix, trying to go after that one queen over here. The queen is taking damage, and that hallucination taking the majority of that damage there. Now trying to push back in. Once again, that queen has been sniped down, and now perhaps we'll be able to turn around. Those Void Rays are going to deal some damage back towards that hatchery. Hatchery taking a lot of damage very, very quickly, and a queen needs to pop out in just a second. Otherwise, these Void Rays are just going to have their way with that hatchery. We can see some Zerglings now waiting off over here. There are some photon cannons, so that's going to be very, very difficult. The Spore Crawler now trying to move its way over. One Spore Crawler now trying to root. That Spore Crawler is going to get shot down. A second Spore Crawler in position. Those Void Rays now trying to pull away, trying to maintain a charge, and now dealing damage towards a queen. That queen is going to back off, and now those Void Rays are being microed very, very well in order to maintain that damage. That hatchery will get taken down, and down it goes. So wow, 2 Void Rays quickly sniping down those units there, and now more damage being dealt across multiple drones. Drones are falling very, very quickly. Back over here, Zerglings now trying to engage. There are some photon cannons, and Mana doing a great job trying to hold off against this very, very large army of Zerglings. Roach is also joining in. More Zealots coming in as well. This Nexus may fall. The Zerglings do have that level 1 weapons upgrade, but I believe that the Nexus should be able to survive down to 94 hit points and able to survive. So trading of bases there, and now those 2 Void Rays that are in the air are going to look and try to deal even more damage. We can see that there is 1 Spore Crawler here, no Spore Crawlers there, so Abver is in trouble. Those Void Rays have dealt a lot of damage and continue to do so. 1 Void Ray very, very low on hit points, now being forced to pull back. This Void Ray is not fully charged, gonna move away as well and perhaps try to hunt and deal some damage towards those Spine Crawlers. Those Spine Crawlers are easy targets as they are armored units. There is 1 Spore Crawler over here, but Mana in a very, very dominant position right now, sitting on a stronger economy and I believe the stronger army as well, and he can simply just sit back and relax a little bit, take a little bit of a breather, and then try to come back into this game. 1 Spore Crawler now dealing more damage. Overlords are now getting shot down as well. Zerglings are now taking some damage as they're trying to run through. They're not going to be able to get that much damage dealt at all, as the Zealots have that level 1 weapons and level 1 armor upgrades. Zerglings are going to be like a hot knife through butter. I do not believe they have the armor upgrades at all, getting 2-shotted by those Zealots. Void Rays now returning home and will be able to tell their kids about how much damage they were able to do against this army here, taking down that hatchery and taking apart Abver's economic advantage. The longer this game goes, the better it is going to be for Mana, as Mana can just sit back on his superior economy right now, sitting at 1400 versus 1000. You can see that Abver did try to continue to power drone and now is getting a decent economy going, and now also trying to get some additional gas as well. Zerglings once again trying to test, unable to really get through. Stalkers are getting some damage as well. Zerglings down over here. Those Zerglings may be able to push through in just a second, and now 1-2 Zerglings may try to come in along that backside, but that 1 photon cannon is within range. Down go more Zerglings. Mana in such a dominant position now. Simply, all he really needs to do is attack, move with this larger army, and he should be able to barrel his way through the front door. There is a very large creep highway set up though, so Abver does have a very early warning system and should be able to train up a lot of units when the time comes. Level 1 missile upgrades now coming on, or now being researched as well, or being evolved, and now Abver says GG. Abver, after seeing the large army, the sheer army size of Mana, says GG. So yeah, a great game here on Metalopolis. Abver losing to Mana after trying to go for a hidden hatchery at the gold mineral location in the center of the map, but 2 Void Rays plus 1 hallucination, and it was really that hallucination that tipped the scales, as that hallucination absorbed so much damage from that queen that the Void Rays were able to get fully charged and then just snipe down that hatchery. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between Roxas Abver and Mouse Mana. Mana using probably the best use of hallucination I've seen in quite some time.